Back on Inside Tennessee, we're talking about the new Beacon Center poll that is out, and you're looking at the approval rating for Governor Bill Lee at 48%. As we bring in Mark Cunningham again from the Beacon Center. Mark, I was pointing out that this poll was 1197. That's how many people you polled. But online right now at your website are all the crosstabs. You can see, and you at home can see, who voted in this poll. Are they a likely voter? Are they Republican, Democrat? This is full transparency. So if you have questions about it, head there and you can really see the full breakdown. Mark, what do you make of the approval rating for Governor Lee?
Well, I think it's good for him overall. A plus 20% is great, and he's the most popular statewide politician, so that's the good part. 48% approval is still not exactly where you want to be in a state that, is overwhelmingly Republican. So I think, there's some good things for him, and a lot of people just feel neutral about him. Either they're undecided or they feel like, he's okay. But a plus 20% job approval is by far the best statewide politician, so comparatively, he should be happy.
Yeah, Mark, it seems, though, that Governor Lee, we were talking off air, that he's not been very public lately. And unfortunately, over the last 6 months when he's been public, it's been, with a special session regarding guns. And then, of course, he hasn't had to comment much on the abortion controversy, but that's been forefront in the news. And as a Republican, he's sort of had to wear that a little bit around his neck. And with the legislature, it strikes me that in a state as red as Tennessee right now, that is a little disappointing. Do you think that might be concerning for the next Republican gubernatorial candidate that comes along?
Yeah, I think it's possible. And the number I look at is he's only plus 9 among independents, which is not great. He's obviously well underwater among Democrats with minus 24%. Right. But yeah, essentially, if you have a tough Republican primary for governor, that could also really hurt. Where you have a tough one when you're yelling at each other, you're insulting each other, and then some of those Republicans break off. So, I feel pretty good overall if I'm Billy, especially concerned the senators, but it is a little concerning because you want to really be at that 60-65% in such a Republican state.
Mark, I'm just curious. Of course, I'm not going to tell you how to do your business, but next polling will be in the summertime, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, July.
So maybe we will know by then how 2 of these big Lee initiatives that have done, vouchers and then also the huge break on franchise tax for businesses have done, whether they were successful or not. That might be something to go back and ask likely voters what they thought about those 2 things and how they perceive his success rate and his approval rate at that point as well. I say Absolutely. That because as we sit here today in mid-April, there are some questions about how either of those or both of those will do.
Yep, absolutely. And seeing how voters reacted, that's always part of it. We do know that ESAs were pretty popular, but once you get the specifics and once this session, which there's been a lot of arguments, is done, whether he passed or not could have an impact for sure in his approval rating.
ESAs, vouchers, depends on what you call them, using public money, pay for private scholarships. Let's move on to more numbers. Kevin, if we can put those up. He's our director today. This is the rating for Senator Bill Hagerty, and his approval rating is at 34%. I'll just add, as we toss to you, Mark, about this one, Governor Bill Lee may not care what his approval rating is because he's done after this anyway, as governor at least.
That's right, yeah, and that's exactly right. In the second term of a gubernatorial thing, you're usually going to have lesser ratings, so you saw it with presidents as well. This Hagerty rating is really interesting because only 34% of people approve of the senator, and for some reason he is well less known than either of the other people. Only 55% of Tennesseans even had an opinion on Bill Hagerty. And you actually noticed one of the most interesting things is that he was the most popular of the Republicans among Democrats. He still was not popular. He was a minus 21, but the least popular among independents and Republicans. So that really is interesting. And that 45% of people who don't really have an opinion on him, that's a little bit concerning if I'm running for re-election and I'm Bill Hagerty.
Mark, do you think that's maybe the reason for that is it counterbalances against Marsha Blackburn, who is very red, is very MAGA, has on occasion been touted as a potential vice presidential candidate for Trump after and when he receives the nomination. Do you think it's because, hey, she's the most red, most Republican, at least as she's compared to Senator Hagerty?
Absolutely. I think that's a great insight. And, you see Marsha Blackburn all the time on Fox News, national news channel. She's certainly a proud conservative and kind of a red meat conservative, where Bill Hagerty, agrees with Trump a lot, but he is not out there as much, which also is probably the reason that not as many people really know where he stands, because they don't see him on national television as much.
Well, they don't see him on state television either, generally. It's been our experience here in East Tennessee, because we have invited him through his people multiple times to be on this program. We get crickets.
Bill Hagerty could walk down Gay Street at lunch, and there wouldn't be many people that would recognize him.
If you watch Maria Bartiromo on Fox, though, he's on there a lot. I do know that because I get the emails.
I miss Fox.
Okay.
So.
All right, Mark, we're going to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee. We're back with more to break down this poll. When we come back, we appreciate you watching here on Sunday morning.